Even the top-tier athletes need a bit of luck, so picture this. Hockey players gearing up for their game, but before they hit the ice, they've got these quirky rituals that they swear by. We're talking about some seriously weird and wild stuff here, but hey, they say it works. Stick around as we uncover the most superstitious NHL players and their pregame routines. Trust me, you won't believe some of the things these guys do. At number 1, Patrick Waugh. The accomplished goalie, a 4-time Stanley Cup champion, had a rather peculiar habit during his rich and long career. He would engage in conversations with his goalposts. Imagine you're on the ice facing down shots from the best in the game. Now picture this goalie, a total legend with 4 Stanley Cup wins under his belt. But get this, he's not just any goalie, he's chatting it up with his goalposts. Yeah, you heard me right. This guy believed that by having a little convo with his posts, he could amp up his performance. Sounds crazy, huh? But hold up. When you think about his insane career and the fact that he's in the Hockey Hall of Fame, maybe there's something to it after all. Hey, whatever works, right? But if you think that might be strange, goalies in other sports do this as well. But for now, let's continue with hockey and talk about another Hall of Famer. At number 2, Brendan Shanahan. Shanahan is now the president of the Toronto Maple Leafs, but check out these quirks from his playing days. They're wild. Picture this. This guy, a total Hall of Famer, he's still rocking the same shoulder pads he wore back in his junior hockey days. Talk about sentimental. It's like a reminder of where he started and how far he's come, you know? But wait, there's more. Before hitting the ice, he's blasting Madonna tunes. Yeah, you heard me right, Madonna. Maybe it's the vibe of tracks like Into the Groove that got him pumped up for game time, but hey, it just goes to show how music can really amp up an athlete's game. But we are just getting started. Wait until later on when we tell you about a player who straight up vomited before every game. At number 3, Joe Nieuwendyk. All right, hockey buffs, check out this superstition from another Hall of Famer, Joe Nieuwendyk. This guy had a game day routine that was as quirky as they come. Before hitting the ice, he was all about 2 pieces of toast with peanut butter. Not 1, not 3, but exactly 2. Talk about specific. But hey, athletes find comfort in routines, and this was his thing. You gotta admire the dedication. Now here's the kicker. Ever wonder if he switched up the toast topping post-game? Maybe jelly or jam? Who knows? But it's all part of the superstition-filled day in the life of a hockey pro. At number 4, Sidney Crosby, aka the next one or Sid the Kid, who was hailed as a future Gretzky. Now at 35, he's a seasoned pro known not just for his skills, but also for his sportsmanship. Get this though, behind that composed exterior, he's got some serious superstitions. Crosby's sticks are like sacred artifacts. No one touches them before a game or he's retaping the whole thing. That's some dedication, huh? And get this, he doesn't call his mom on game days. Whether it's about staying focused or just sticking to a lucky routine, Crosby's superstitions seem to be doing the trick given his incredible career. Number 5, Eddie Belfour. Well, if Crosby's stick wasn't to be touched, then Belfour's entire equipment was under strict protection. Eddie the Eagle Belfour left an indelible mark on the NHL through his illustrious career, culminating in his induction into the prestigious Hockey Hall of Fame in 2011. With a Stanley Cup triumph, 2 Vezina trophies, and an impressive 484 career wins under his belt, Belfour's legacy as a formidable goaltender is unquestionable. This guy's career was stacked, and of course, he's a Hall of Famer. But here's where it gets interesting. Belfour was serious about his goalie gear, like really serious. Nobody touched his equipment but him, and he'd joke around about it, but you knew he meant business. This superstition wasn't just a quirk. It showed how dedicated he was to his game. And get this, after a tough game, he'd break down and rebuild his gear, like his glove, to get back in the zone. That's some next level commitment, huh? But hey, it worked for him and his legacy speaks for itself. Crazy, huh? What do you think? Do you find this weird or do you think it's cool? Number 6, Glenn Hall. All right, brace yourselves for this one, hockey fans. We're talking about Glenn Mr. Goalie Hall, a legend between the pipes. But get this, his pregame ritual was downright gross. Before every game, he'd intentionally vomit to calm his nerves. Yeah, you heard me right. He'd puke on purpose. Now, whether this actually helped him or not is up for debate, but check this out. The guy racked up over 400 wins and snagged 2 Stanley Cups. Maybe there was something to it, huh? Whether it was the hurling or just his sheer talent and grit, Glenn Mr. Goalie Hall definitely left his mark on the game. Talk about dedication. If you made it this far into the video, I would appreciate if you hit the subscribe button as it supports my work in an easy and free way. Number 7, Ken Dryden. It does seem like the goalies have the strangest superstitions in the NHL, and this time it's goalie legend Ken Dryden. This guy was a 5-time Vezina Trophy winner and a 6-time Stanley Cup champ. But check out his pregame ritual. He always had to make one last save before leaving the ice. And here's where it gets interesting. His teammate Larry Robinson would sometimes mess with him, knowing all about Dryden's superstition. If Ken had a rough game, Robinson might toss an easy shot his way just to keep things light. But if Dryden was on fire, he'd challenge him with a tough shot. Classic teammate banter, right? But Dryden caught on real quick and made sure to get the final save before Robinson could pull any tricks. Gotta love those goalie mind games. If you think that was interesting, wait until I tell you about the next player who always smoked between periods. We're at number 8, and we're talking about Stan Mikita. Talk about old school hockey vibes. Stan Mikita, a true legend of the game, had a quirky superstition tied to his smoking habit. Yep, you heard that right. Between periods, he'd light up a cigarette, flicking the butt over his left shoulder before hitting the ice again. Now, seeing a modern athlete puffing away between periods might raise some eyebrows, but hey, it worked for Mikita. With over 1,300 games played, more than 500 goals, and over 1,400 points to his name, he definitely left his mark on the sport. They even called him Stash. Now that's a nickname with some history. This guy was crazy, yeah, but wait until we tell you about the guy who missed open goals on purpose. Number 9, Roberto Luongo. The enigmatic Bobby Lou, the heart and soul of the Vancouver Canucks goalie crease. While he's not big on superstitions, he's got a game day routine down to a science. Picture this: pasta and chicken for lunch, followed by a power nap, then a shower, a little snack, and off to the rink exactly 2 hours before puck drop. Now, despite his anti-superstition stance, there are whispers about Lou's goalie mask choices during games. Word has it, he was picky about which mask he wore and wouldn't hesitate to ditch one if it brought him bad luck. Hey, even goalies that aren't big on superstition can't resist a good routine, huh? Number 10, Karl Alzner. Here's a fascinating one from the Washington Capitals defenseman. He's totally aware of how odd his superstitions are. He's even talked about trying to kick them to the curb, but hey, old habits die hard, right? Now here's where it gets interesting. During the national anthem, he's got this ritual down pat. He tapes his stick exactly 88 times, all while tracing the outline of the Canadian maple leaf in sync with the music. Talk about precision, huh? Whether he's managed to shake off these quirks or not, one thing's for sure, it's a routine you won't forget anytime soon. Number 11, Steve Bernier. Check this guy out. Instead of cashing in on those sweet empty net opportunities, Steve Bernier intentionally avoided scoring. Yeah, you heard me right. He was passing up on the easy goals. And get this, it went all the way back to his junior hockey days. Whenever he'd miss an open net, his teammates would swoop in and score. So he was convinced that by intentionally missing, he was indirectly boosting his chances of scoring later on. Talk about playing the long game, huh? When asked about his strategy, Steve got all sentimental, saying he's just really attached to his superstition. Hey, whatever floats your boat, right? How about a couple of bonus superstitions? Another pregame superstition in the NHL revolves around how players stand during the national anthem. It's pretty fascinating if you ask me. Some players have a specific spot on the ice where they must stand during the anthem. Others will only stand in certain spots in the locker room until the anthem starts and then quickly move to their designated spot on the ice. Why? Well, some players believe that standing in a certain spot on the ice during the national anthem can bring them good luck or ward off bad luck. It's taken super seriously by some players, who will get visibly upset if they are not able to stand in their preferred spot. But wait, there's more. In addition to the spot on the ice, some players also have a specific way they must stand during the anthem. This could include standing with their hands on their hips, arms crossed, or standing completely still with their hands at their sides. Now, while some may view these superstitions as strange or unnecessary, they are a part of many players' pregame routines and can help them mentally prepare for the game. For some players, the routine and superstitions are just as important as the physical preparation. But now, let me tell you about a whole fan base that is superstitious. Detroit Red Wings fans. If you have watched my video about things you didn't know about the NHL, you know about this one. As a Detroit fan, you've probably heard of this going back as far as 1952 when the Red Wings were 8 wins away from the Cup. The Cusimano brothers, Pete and Jerry, who owned a fish market at the time, had a wild idea. Take octopi into Olympia Stadium and chuck them onto the ice. The 8 tentacles of the octopus symbolized the 8 wins that the Wings needed to take home the Cup. And guess what? They won 8 straight. Since then, it's become one of the most unique superstitions in sports. Unfortunately for Detroit hockey fans, we will not be seeing the Red Wings in the playoffs this year, but nevertheless, it's a pretty funny tradition. Did you know about any of these superstitions? Let me know about any other superstitions I missed for part 2 if you would like to see another part.